Bonsoir à toutes et bonsoir à tous et bienvenue pour ce nouveau et déjà dernier rendez-vous Meet the Talents de cette édition d'Anima. Alors comme on dit, last but not least, puisque ce soir nous aurons la chance de discuter avec 5 invités au parcours étonnant et inspirant. Ça fait une semaine déjà qu'Anima vous plonge au cœur de la planète animation, là où bouillonnent les stylos, les crayons, les pinceaux et les souris, là où les objets prennent vie et des films qui repoussent sans cesse les frontières de l'animation et qui réinventent cette animation d'aujourd'hui. Alors mon premier invité s'y connaît en défi et en frontières repoussées puisqu'il est un des principaux artisans d'une véritable success story de l'animation britannique et mondiale. Je veux bien sûr vous parler de Peter Lord, qui est réalisateur, producteur et fondateur du studio Aardman. Thank you very much for being my first guest, Mr. Lord.
Great to be here.
Alors, vous avez commencé votre collaboration avec David Sproxton à l'école. En 1972, vous enregistrez le nom Aardman Animations. Et après votre diplôme, vous vous installez à Bristol en 1976, où très rapidement le studio accouche de sa première production professionnelle. 14 years later, you're here in Bristol, in Anima, to launch the festivities of your birthday. Thank you very much for being here. We're really happy to have you here, but can I say that it's a long time story between Aardman and this festival?
Yes, indeed. I was in fact, asking Philippe a minute ago when we first came here, and I think we came to visit Brussels and actually to do an animation workshop, and I think that was 84, 85 maybe, and then we first came to the festival, I think in 86, I would think.
And last year, Shaun the Sheep was the opening of the festival. So, as I said, Aardman is a British success story, and now the studio is a world leader in animation, but your personal story with animation started in a kitchen.
Yes. I started in animation in the kitchen, and the world was so different then. It seems like a million miles away because there was no internet, there was no CGI, and as far as I knew then, when I was 16 years old, animation was only for children. That was all I knew, and I was very unaware of the world which was out there. And David and I started animating for fun, which is the best possible reason to start animating. And we experimented, and it was a hobby. It was fun, and then one day it became a career. And we're quite boring people because we've just been doing the same thing for 40 years. But animation continues to be a wonderful, delightful, exciting, accessible thing for kids to do, as it was for me when I was 16.
Whoa! But in your young time, you experimented a lot of techniques, and then you focus on plasticine. Why? Was it a way to, how to say that, to be specialized in something, to be different?
So the truth of the matter was that we started as a hobby, and we were experimenting. We experimented with cutouts, heavily influenced by Terry Gilliam. We experimented with chalk drawing on a chalkboard. I don't know where that came from. Cutouts, chalk drawings, pixelation of the human body, and a little bit of work with plasticine, with clay. But we settled on very conventional drawn animation, 2D drawn animation. And the name Aardman comes from our first character, who was a drawn animated character. And we did that for for some months. And the truth is that we were not very good at it. We were, as we say in England, we were small fish in a very big pond. So what we were doing was the bottom end of the spectrum. At the top end was Disney. It was all drawn animation, and I think it was going nowhere, creatively. And so one day we experimented with the third dimension with modelling clay, plasticine, as we say in England, and suddenly we were doing something that nobody else was doing, and that was a very good place to be. So we weren't very good. We were very young. We weren't highly experienced, but we were doing something that briefly was unique, and that was a very strong position to be in.
Yes, and from the start, you were interested in developing an adult audience.
Yes, quite quickly we learnt that there was an adult audience for animation, having assumed that it was all for children, and our first commercial work was for children, which is normal, and then we were lucky enough to meet someone, because the people you meet are so important in your career. The opportunities that happen, timing, people, inspiration. These a few things are so important. We met a TV producer who was making a TV series based on real soundtracks, and that work itself was based on some American filmmakers called John and Faith Hubley. So, inspired by them, we tried taking modelling clay characters, plasticine characters, and making them talk and perform and act. And the subject matter was serious, not political, but not based on gags. It was kind of serious. It was observational. In fact, it was weirdly, it was like a strange crossover of animation and documentary. And we put those things together, and we evolved a style which was, we didn't know what we were doing, but we found out, we're making films for grown-ups.
As you said, the people you meet are really important, and now Aardman has a really strong artistic signature. Famous household names like Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the Sheep, but it's also the story of amazing collaboration. What does the Aardman family looks like?
Yes. Collaboration is everything in animation. For me, animation is a very, very collaborative way of filmmaking. Yes, having said that we meet important people in your career, we met a young student actually at the National Film School in London who was making a film about a man and his dog who fly a rocket to the moon, and the man and the dog was Wallace and Gromit. The young, very thin, very nervous, very shy student was Nick Park, and the collaboration with Nick has been incredibly important. I mean, it's beyond calculation. If we hadn't met Nick, I don't know where we'd be now. I don't know. We somewhere else, probably not here. So Nick joined us. For a short while, he was the guy that made the tea and swept the floor. He was the office junior. Then it turned out that he was really quite clever and rather a wonderful animator, and his star started to rise with Wallace and Gromit particularly. So the collaboration with him, with Nick, the collaboration with Richard Starzak, who now does the Shaun the Sheep movie, so many. It's all about collaboration with perhaps especially with directors and writers. Those people are very important. But then cinematographers and animators and model makers and all the 1,000 people that make up a film production, they all had something to contribute, and maybe the secret of success is to recognize those people when they come close and then grab them
and keep them. Vous êtes très nombreux ce soir pour entendre Peter Lord. Est-ce que l'une ou l'un d'entre vous souhaite en profiter pour lui poser une question?
Now's the time.
Yes? Do you want one?
Peter, what is the film of yours that satisfies you most?
Easy question. Easy question to ask. Oh, satisfies. I think I will say the feature film I made called The Pirates, and I say it because it was, in a way, it's big and ambitious, and uses an awful lot of people, which is difficult. But I feel in my heart that that's the purest expression of my character, I think. So in that sense, I'm happiest with it.
Y a-t-il une autre question? Profitez-en, je pense qu'on n'a pas tous les jours l'occasion de poser une question à Peter Lord. Enfin, moi là j'en profite, mais... Which are your next projects?
For me personally, I am developing, which is a strange word. I'm not developing personally. I am developing things, other projects to make. Just before I came here, yesterday on Thursday, I was talking about 2 other feature film projects, and there are in total 4 other projects which I'm sort of trying to help them along, help them to grow. The studio, the next big project is a film that Nick Park is directing, and it's called 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗪, and it's about cavemen, and that looks extremely funny already, but don't hold your breath, because it will be in the cinemas in the very end of 2017 or maybe the very start of 2018.
Voilà, il faudra être patient jusque 2018. Une autre question, peut-être?
What do you think about video games?
What do I think about video? Well, I have to admit that I'd never play video games, but I love the idea of video games, if that's possible. At Aardman, at the studio, we do many things. We do lots of different forms of entertainment. So we make feature films, which is very conventional. We do TV series, which is quite conventional. We do TV commercials, and we have a digital department who do games and apps and stuff like that. They do small, short games. So I would love for us to do bigger ones. And the reason why is because I'm very, very interested in the storytelling. Like the storytelling potential of games fascinates me. I don't understand it. I wouldn't dream of directing it. I wouldn't dream of directing a game, but some young person at Aardman to direct a game would be great, I think. You know, I find it very exciting. I mean, personally, I occasionally I looked at a game recently. Just looked at it, opened it up, and I realised I realised that if I started playing this game, I would last for 3 seconds before everyone killed me. And I thought, well, that's not really for me.
Hello. Question there.
Hi, my name is San, and I think this would be the question that might be very, maybe for you. Where is clay animation is heading, do you think, in this time where everyone is looking for something in the 3Ds and everything?
Yeah, it is a very big question. I mean, what can I say? We believe in it. You know, I mean, we think it's important, desirable, commercially viable, necessary, good for people. You know, we think that I feel that the people who are always experiencing computer animation need some clay animation in their lives. It's healthy for them because it has in it that handmade quality, that intimate, personal handmade quality, which is priceless. I mean, the most important thing is always the story. I would always say that. You know, the most important thing, because that's why people go into the cinema, is to be told a story. So yes, that's the most important thing. But I think there is an old-fashioned magic about clay animation, which still connects with people on a very simple, quite a primitive level. You know, it's a very instinctive thing that when you see it on the screen, you can see the fingerprints, you can see how it's made, and I know that many people don't care about that. I understand that. I understand that much of the audience don't watch films that way. So maybe we're making films for the people that do appreciate that.
Okay, so we will take one last question.
Where is Morph today?
He's not far away. I think he might be behind me. I brought him with me to enjoy the festival. He always likes Anima.
Donc on va devoir... Il y a encore peut-être le jeune homme, la toute dernière question, et puis après on va devoir libérer Monsieur Lord qui va aller présenter une séance.
So, did anything give you an idea to making these films?
Sorry, does anything give me the idea?
Of making your films?
Where ideas come from is the biggest mystery in the world, isn't it? I mean, that, you know, heaven knows where they come from. They come from many different places and different people. And as filmmakers, the secret is to keep your mind open. I think if your mind is open, then maybe you will see the big idea when it comes along. But I will say that at Aardman, we have a lot of creative people with a lot of ideas inside the company, and outside the company, people send us ideas and send us scripts, and with all those people thinking, you maybe get one good idea, one great idea in a year, maybe. So it's kind of inefficient. There's a lot of thinking goes into it to make not many films, but that is the heart of what we do.
Okay, thank you very much. Unfortunately, I have to let you go because, well, no, it's for good reason. Vous allez à présent présenter un programme, une sorte de best-of qui va vous permettre de découvrir une vingtaine de courts-métrages réalisés par les studios Aardman entre les années 80 et aujourd'hui. I know that David Sproxton said that it's been an extraordinary journey, even if it's one that you've taken one frame at a time. So we wish you to continue this amazing animated journey, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.